I was having a conversation years ago. I remember maybe 10 years ago, with a friend. She's a college professor, and somehow the subject of the remember, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle.
Yeah.
One of the essays I'll probably one of the many essays I'll probably never write is something like, fish seeks bicycle. Um, because I said, well, fair enough, right? I mean, if you look around, you see a lot of evidence that was when there was like a lot of columns coming out, like the end of men. Remember this? You know, there was like, this is the kind of, it was out there, it was kind of in the water. And I said, okay, what if the single most powerful force within many, if not most, if not all men, that causes him to fall in love with her is the sense that she needs him? Now what? If you take it as a given that most, if not all, men have somewhere asleep within them a sleeping giant, a hero. There's a moment where suddenly he's 10 feet tall. He can move mountains. He can do anything. Suddenly he squares his shoulder and leans into the wind, and he's doing it for her, for that smile he got, right? Now what? Fair enough. He's no longer needed. I liked that little snippet that you had recently where Joey was talking about, because it's funny because almost the exact wording I use. I would say, like, you know, if you ever, like, what advice do you give young men today? I'd say be useful. Find something. If you look around, actually almost everywhere you look, there's something, right? There's need everywhere. If you know how to look for it, you'll find it. There's almost in every domain there's need. And so find something and get good at that and be useful. It was interesting that he had a similar kind of line of thinking, because I agree with that. But as more and more of those domains are being, not only, a lot of these positions, not only are they being held by women, women are doing it better. That's the reality, right? Is that there's so many ways in which, so many aspects of modern life where women, frankly, do it better than men do. I sort of like to joke that there might be only 3 or 4 things that men are better at than women, plus or minus 3. You know, there aren't that many things, right? So you better get good at least 1 or 2 of those. And so the idea that we're going to have to essentially renegotiate some new arrangement, some new way of relating to each other that's mutually satisfying. There's the word satisfaction. Probably get to that too. You got to find a way to create a mutually satisfying relationship. And if you just imagine the mindset you have to be in to stand up in front of all your friends and family, and maybe in front of a priest or a rabbi or a justice of the peace, or at least somebody who went online and got ordained to accomplish it. If you're going to stand in front of everyone who you know and love and declare, this is my public choice in a woman, this is my public choice in a man, just imagine the state that your heart has to be in to be that open, that vulnerable, that trusting, that willing to compromise, that willing to make sacrifices. What exactly are you doing it for? In service of what, right? What is the end that you seek? It's a massive question. And you know, what we see a lot of young people deciding is like, it's just a shrug. They're like, an eye roll and a shrug, and they shuffle off the battlefield. And to me, that's a very sad state of affairs.
Yeah.